Have you ever been scared?
Yes.
Have you ever been, like, stuck somewhere scary that, like, you were alone and you couldn't get away from?
No.
Me either, but that sounds terrible.
It really does sound terrible.
Hey guys, I'm Crypto Spook, and this is Don't Knock Twice.
And this is Moriarty.
It's a horror game for VR, and I feel like I've mentioned it before. Horror games in VR are freaking terrifying.
They're extra terrifying.
Because you are trapped inside of an immersive world that's strapped to your face.
You know, even Duck Season, which is not a horror game, has some scary moments in it, and it can really get your heart pumping because you feel like it can actually come up behind you.
Oh, absolutely it can. That is the feeling. This is the second time we've looked at this game. The first time we looked at the demo of it when that came out, and whoo boy, I didn't like it. I'm not a big fan of horror games. I could barely get out of the first room in the house. Yeah, I still don't like horror games. It's not that I'm scared. I just don't like being trapped someplace where I have no control other than moving around with my hands. You know what I mean?
But you were scared.
Yeah, okay, I can admit it. I was scared.
This seems like a scary game. What is the goal?
The goal of the game is to figure out what happened to this girl named Chloe. I guess she's your girlfriend or daughter or something, and you go around the house reading all this literature that's laying around, learning about missing children and reading Chloe's diary and stuff like that about, you know, what happened and what's going on in her life. And you find out that she's got all these problems, and you know, they talk about this game called Don't Knock Twice that kids have played. And what it is a game where you knock twice on the door and summon Baba Yaga, which is a Russian, I think, Baba Yaga. One of those. It's Russian folklore about this woman that has no shape. Kind of interesting stuff.
Shapeless women.
Yes.
That's the scare here, is women who are not shapely.
It's not like that. It's a demon.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't clarify, so...
Yeah, it's Russian folklore. It's from like the 1700s.
I feel like that is probably incorrect. But okay, so you wander around with a candlestick and look at stuff. I find that the least realistic part of this is the idea that people would be writing things down.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like, who writes things down? When was the last time you wrote with paper?
Actually write pretty regularly with paper because of what I do, but I guess a lot of people don't.
Okay, outside of work, when was the last time you wrote something down?
I don't know, I like to write. I have a really nice pen that I keep with me at all times.
You are just ruining my
I'm
whole
sorry.
point here.
Is there an analogy here that I'm destroying?
I'm trying to make a point.
I never write anything, Mr. Moriarty.
Okay, well, good. So since you never write anything down, it's highly irregular and unrealistic that anybody would be writing things down. Jeez.
You're totally right.
Are there jump scares or anything like that in this game?
There are jump scares galore in this game. It's one big jump scare. They just jump scare you left, and then they jump scare you right, and then they jump scare you middle, and then that's the whole gist of the game's jump scares. Were they good jump scares?
Were they good jump scares?
Oh, absolutely. The atmosphere in this game is fantastic. The storytelling through the pieces that you read is also very good. I was scared. I was very scared by this game. Like, in that very first room, you're just, you show up there after you knock twice on the door to start the game. You show up in that room and you're just kind of like looking around, and you hear like a knocking on the window, and then you finally go over to the window and there's a big old jump scare and something smashes into the window. I'm not gonna lie, I may have cheated at this game a little bit.
And how is that?
Well, I cheated the normal way anybody with VR would cheat.
I don't know what that way is.
I took my earbuds out.
Oh.
I mean, I could hear, it just wasn't. So I killed about 50% of the atmosphere of this game, because as we've talked about, sound is so crucial for any type of VR immersion.
So you removed your earbuds so you would be less scared. I
would totally be less scared because I couldn't hear the scary stuff sneaking up behind me.
And you could also hear stuff in your background, in your actual background, that helped keep you out of it.
I tethered myself to reality through audio.
Wow, that's kind of hilarious. So do you see things like moving in the dark, or...
Oh, yeah.
What kind of stuff happens in here that makes this a scary game?
I'm listening now, and there's a lot of audio stuff that I'm hearing that I totally missed in the game, and that would have been really scary. Just hearing things like banging and knocking on doors. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
So can you die? Is there anything like that, or what?
I can tell you that I didn't die, but I can also tell you that I was like, you know what, that's enough of this game. I think we've got enough footage for us to make the video. That's good. I'm just going to go ahead and leave before they really start getting freaky, you know?
This follows the jump scare a lot kind of mentality of horror games, and that's what's scary about it. But don't you think that over time you would kind of get used to those jump scares and it would eventually be a little bit less scary to you?
You know, you would think so, but the atmosphere inside of VR really doesn't lend itself to that. You're tied completely and inextricably into this world. You exist there as far as your brain can tell.
And by not having something trying to kill you, I think that probably did help you out.
It probably really did help with the immersion, yes.
Yeah, because if something's trying to kill you nonstop, you eventually start seeing that more as like a problem to solve.
And instead, you know, stuff just randomly flies across the room, or a window breaks, or something, you see something through a window that disappears a second later.
This is kind of what, like a puzzle game, so you have to go find out whatever it is that you need to see, or read, or put together or whatever, and then a door opens and now you can continue on your story.
Yes, yes. I'm not sure I would call it a story game. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I would call it a puzzle game. I would probably call it a story-based adventure.
It's a pretty game.
It was very attractive. It was very immersive. The art style lent itself well to VR.
Well, being in the dark, I mean, having everything in the dark, it's kind of easy to do that in VR. You just keep it dark.
Yeah, I guess that's a pretty easy way to do it, huh?
I imagine if this game were well lit, you might be like, oh, wow, this is not so pretty at all.
I don't know. I think maybe it would be even more interesting if they had well-lit areas combined with dark areas. So you're going from the light and relative safety as far as your mind knows because it's light into a dark, scary place. So that would probably even add more foreboding into it.
Did you ever play the game PT?
I did not. I saw you talking about that game, and I have no idea what it is. Is that the actual name, PT?
It's like preview trailer or something like that.
The name of the game?
Yeah, so it is a preview trailer game for the game that Kojima was putting out. He's the guy who created Metal Gear Solid and who created Silent Hill and all of that kind of stuff. And he was making a new horror game. And so PT was his demo, the first 30 minutes of what the game will be like.
And after that, he never did anything?
Well, after that, Konami decided that they didn't like Kojima anymore, and they, shuffled him off into a weird little box, and then eventually he broke out of the box and quit. And he never made another game again. They kept him there until Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and then they were like, okay, you can leave now. Anyways, PT is probably the only really, truly horrific game in the genre so far, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of really, really, really scary games. And we talk about that in our Horror Games Can Never Be Scary video, which just came out 2 days ago. So, PT managed to be really, really scary because it doesn't answer questions, it doesn't show you the monster, it's random, and it keeps you on your toes. It's always changing, it's always doing things and being interesting. One of the things that it does is it leads you from really well-lit areas to really dark areas, and it forces you to make the decision to walk through that pitch-black darkness.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I think that would be great in VR. I wish that somebody would port PT to VR for Crypto to play.
No. You play it! You play it! It's your turn!
No. I'm saying that, this way you can experience PT in VR. Because I've already experienced PT, obviously. I think it's your turn to experience it, and if they're going to let you experience it, you might as well experience it in VR. I mean, you like horror games anyways.
I am not a big fan.
You enjoy it. It's your favorite.
I'm going to go ahead and just say that's not true.
So I notice in this game that when you're playing it, there's not really like any graphic anything. It's just kind of like things flying off of walls, right?
Yep.
You're always pretty safe, right? Mm-hmm. Don't you think perhaps you should have played some more of it?
No, I don't think so. That seems like a terrible idea.
But you're always pretty safe. You should have played some more.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
You don't like horror games?
I don't like horror games. No.
Yes, you do. I don't know why you have to hide it.
Oh, you're a terrible person.
So the game is $20.
This is a $20 game, yes.
How do you feel about spending $20 on this incredible horror game that you enjoyed so much?
Well, I will say that if you're a fan of horror games, you should probably pick it up. I am not a fan of horror games, so I would not pick it up.
I actually did pick this up.
Oh, that's right.
I picked it up for you.
That's pretty terrible of you.
This was my gift to you, Crypto.
You are such a good friend.
I gave this to you for Halloween. Happy Halloween, Crypto.
Yeah, it's very scary. I hope you get the chance to play it yourself.
I have no need. I'm experiencing it through your eyes.
You're living vicariously through me?
I have already done so, and I'm very pleased that I was able to do that. I would enjoy watching you stream this.
I don't know about all that.
I would enjoy that. I actually think that you should stream more horror games.
No,
You can become known for that.
I don't want to.
PewDiePie did it. You can do it.
I'm no pewds.
So would you pick it up for $20? Crypto says no because he doesn't like horror games, but he probably would if he did like horror games, which is an incredibly vague recommendation, but it's the one you're going to get, guys. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. But if you did like it, watch another one up there in the corner right now. And as always,
We'll see you on the next one.